Craftsman Truck Series live from Pocono Raceway.
Drivers, start your engines!
Engines are fired. 35 truckers are ready to take on the tricky triangle. They are ready for their first show of the weekend. Pace Truck is off its race number 14. We are racing at Pocono Raceway. Lane Riggs, Caden Honeycutt lead the field down into turn 1.
Here we go. Start swinging out here and there. We're only going to go 3 wide this time. That's not too bad.
Caden Honeycutt with the advantage. Lane Riggs up high. He loses a couple spots.
Lane Riggs chose the outside, got a nice break, but Caden did a good job. But look at the draft coming. You talked about it, Kevin, and there it goes. 3 wide.
There's Lane. Excuse me, I'm coming back for that spot. I was supposed to have 3 wide. Corey Heim out in front.
And that's where it becomes a lot trickier to decide what to do. The tunnel turn is a lot narrower than turn 1. You've got a lot of space in turn 1. So you saw Lane Riggs back out of the throttle right there to make sure that he didn't get loose underneath those 2 trucks.
Here comes the leader, Corey Heim, for his first stop of the day.
Had about a 3-second lead when he pitted. See how this all shakes out. Who decides to stay out and grab those stage points?
Stage point, he needs the stage points in general.
The 2, that would be Cody Dennison.
That's hard
Trouble
contact.
on the track, yes. Debris on the track. That'll bring out our first caution of the day. The final lap of stage number 1.
There it goes.
Oof.
Lost a right front tire, whether he hit debris or had a fender rub or what. Big contact for Cody.
Well, that puts a couple of these trucks in a really, really different spot than they probably thought they were going.
And that is the end of stage 1. Riggs picks up the win there. Caden Honeycutt second. Connor Mozak, really nice opening stage for him. Stuart Friesen stayed out, got the lead, so he'll restart here on the outside. Corey Heim on the inside. Corey has been lights out once again today. Nose to nose. Carson Hocevar pushing Stuart Friesen on the outside as they head into turn 1.
Stuart Friesen is a big Carson Hocevar fan right now as they fan out 3 wide. Got to be careful down there on that bottom.
Yeah, we know that 81 truck down there is on used tires. Stuart Friesen on used tires. See one up the racetrack right there.
It's Tony Breidinger. Yeah, you mentioned Connor Mozak in the 81, fuel only there. He hangs on to the 4th spot as they're fanning out all
4 wide.
3-4 wide behind him.
There it is. This is not going to end good. Oh, the experience of Chandler Smith. He was able to hold that truck off of Tyler Ankrum up on his outside. Good job there. That didn't look good at first.
That's all a battle for 12th. They hang on to it.
You see Corey Heim right here up on that second groove. Trevor told us that resin, the old resin, is starting to rubber up and start to make that second groove more useful in turns 1 and turn 3. But we know Corey Heim, he's had the best truck, and Hocevar knows that right now. He needs to stay close enough to get that draft off the back of that 11 truck. We saw those times match at the end of that last run, so we think Hocevar has the hold-on speed to stay with Heim. Yeah, and as Corey Heim goes through the tunnel turn, coming to the last lap of this stage, Stuart Friesen and Chandler Smith right in front of him on the same straightaway have flipped the stage and will be able to stay on that lead lap with their strategy. So they're going to be on a little different strategy, but they're probably going to have decent track position as they start this stage.
Green and white checker flag is in the air. Corey Heim picks up his 12th stage win of 2025. Hocevar second, Lane Riggs third, Jake Garcia and Tanner Gray your top 5. So back to the action, and Corey Heim just broke a record. His 12th stage win of the season. That is the most ever in the Truck Series.
Here at Pocono a year ago, he won both stages and the race.
7 trucks came down pit road a second time and topped off. The Pace truck is off. Raja Karuth stayed out from 15th. He leads him on the outside of the 71 truck. Corey Heim on the inside as they duck out behind him, trying to fan out into turn 1.
And they are doing just that. Look at that. Wow. Can they funnel in there and make it happen? Kevin, you talked to the open about that. Getting through turn one is one thing, but the next one's even more difficult to control.
Yeah, and you see they come off of turn one right there, 3 wide already, and now you see one on the apron over. There's a massive drain down there below those dotted lines that you saw that truck hit. Now you have to make some firmer decisions to 2 wide down here in the tunnel turn, or you're going to have an accident.
Majeski on Tanner Gray.
Oh, they're wrecking.
Caution is out. Around goes Grant Enfinger.
Big wreck.
Tyler Ankrum up in smoke. That's a Nice truck. Looks like the 44 Connor Jones up against the wall.
Tyler Ankrum with a lot of damage is going to be able to drive away.
It happened here that took out at least 4 trucks.
Yeah, and you're going to see Grant Enfinger right here, almost 4 wide. And then he winds up, like you say, Mike, he just winds up with a bad angle right there. Gets clipped in the right rear quarter panel up the racetrack into Ankrum, and then around goes the 9 truck, and then several more pile in right here as they're trying to miss the spinning trucks of the 9 and the 18 there.
Wow, nice job by a couple of guys squeezing through there.
Ben Rhodes had some contact, but like you said, Michael, heads up.
Look at this angle. That's what it's all about right there. He squeezes Ben Rhodes up a bit, and I think that starts this mess. Grant into Ben and Ben into Tyler in that 18 truck.
Yeah, and you see the 44 into the back of the 26 right there.
Look at that Gio squeezing through the bottom. Frankie Muniz nicely done.
There goes Tony. Carson Hocevar just behind Corey Heim. We're back under green.
When you see both of those trucks in the second row get a great restart and attach to the bumper of the trucks in front of them. See those? Yeah, you see those trucks moving around as they're tandem.
Little contact. Jake Garcia gets into the back of Honeycutt, slides up the racetrack. They keep him straight. There's contact back deeper, and around goes Jake Garcia. I thought he had it saved.
Oh man, this is the end of this run.
He's going to peek under the 45 truck right there.
Just got squeezed a bit, and up the hill he went, and I thought he had it all gathered up, but then right here, Brandon Jones bounces into him, puts him right up in front of Majeski.
Yeah, and then Majeski had nowhere to go and spins him around, and I cannot believe all these guys missed that spinning 13 truck.
Something feels amiss, perhaps, on that 11 truck.
See if it's the right rear.
Get a good look.
Right rear's flat.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, you got a right
Rear's flat.
Wow.
Well, we talk about all the weird, crazy things that have happened, and
Now he's got to wave everybody by.
And that's the smart thing to do. Just get out of the way, get yourself in a position to get to pit road. But
He has to come down pit road, get a new tire, and that opens things up.
And that should make Riggs the control truck right here. I'm sure that they're having a discussion about who the control truck is, but
Well, it's Carson Hocevar who leads them. Green flag back out. Lane Riggs on the inside. Tanner Gray needs a great finish. There he is in the 15 truck in third. Connor Mozak, he's been there all day, taking a peek. They mixed it up with strategy earlier to fuel only. Didn't know if it would work, but there they are again. That's how good this truck has been. Clear as day, he knew, or thought he knew, that he was the control truck.
And that's when the driver, the spotter, and the crew chief have to know the rules. And the rule is, when the leader goes off the racetrack, it switches to the second place truck. Yeah,
you can argue all you want, but once the decision has been made, you're going to have to stop.
You were the first one to the box, and you were the first one to take off. You broke the rules. I mean, that's the bottom line. So.
The 23-year-old from North Carolina wants to see that checkered flag. Makes his way there. Lane Riggs. This will be a day he will never forget. He picks up his first win of the season and locks himself into the playoffs. Well done.
Cars always ran here, so I know this is definitely a great moment for Ford to be back in victory lane.
Such a great turnout. You can hear all the fans. I love this, the team on the wall.